The following is a special Wayne Hills Television sports presentation.
As we begin each telecast for the remaining games this season, we will be taking a look back at what has become a remarkable run of excellence for these Patriots. Let us begin the journey with a look at 2002.
And Monahan's going to take it on the keeper. He's got some room to the outside, and he brings it in for the score. Touchdown, Wayne Hills.
And Georgie looking to throw, in trouble, releases, intercepted. And coming the other way is Chaz Lynn, up the sideline, makes the cut. Touchdown, Wayne Hills.
And the crowd is fired up. What a huge play. We cannot stress this enough. This is just an outstanding kick. All the pressure relying on Dave Adamo. The kick is up, and it is gone! He kicks it through the uprights, and Wayne Hills takes a 25-24 lead. It's stuck in there, and Wayne Hills is off the charts right now. Patriots right now, and the fans are on their feet. Monahan, look at that, he's back in the pocket, and he's going for Greg Olson, and he got it! He got it! Touchdown, Patriots! Touchdown, Patriots! Wayne Hills is gonna take home the victory, and the biggest win of the young career of Greg Olson. For Steph Monahan back in the pocket, looking for Lynch in the end zone, going for it, Money Cash right there, Dallas Lynch over Kyle Roeder, touchdown Patriots.
Georgie back to throw. He's hit as he releases. He really got slammed, and again, it's Dan Solari, the defensive end. He's had a whale of a game tonight for the Patriots.
Dan is really bringing it right now.
4, 3, 2, 1, and it is over. Wayne Hills is the 2002 Group 3 North 1 State Championship, their first ever state championship, and what a fantastic end to an amazing season for Wayne Hills.
Hello and welcome to Pascack Valley High School, where your Wayne Hills Patriots will take on the Pascack Valley Indians. I'm Jon Vittas here with Anthony Scudillo, who is making his football announcing debut. Anthony, how do you feel?
I feel great, John. You know, I'm really excited to do this. I mean, anticipating this for a while. You know what? Let's get the show on the road. Let's go.
All right, let's get right into it. We're going to start out with our key players for this game. Who for Wayne Hills is going to have to step up and have a nice game in order for them to win?
Well, my key player is Mike Quinn. Obviously, he had a big week last week against Old Japan. You know what? Wayne Hills relies a lot on the running, but once they get the running established, they go big to Ogden and Horahan.
And my key player is Brian Ogden, the wide receiver. Overshadowed a little bit in the last game by Horahan, who had 3 touchdowns. But I expect Ogden to have a big game today. He steps up in big situations like tonight. And I expect him to have a big game on offense and defense. And on defense, it's very important for Wayne Hills tonight because Pascack Valley comes into the game averaging 33 points per game. And Wayne Hills' defense only allows 11 points per game. So something's got to give. Anthony, do you see Wayne Hills' defense shutting down Pascack Valley's offense?
I do. They're made up of a lot of seniors and a lot of great athletes. I don't see any reason why Pascack Valley will score more than 20 points on Wayne Hills.
Now let's talk about the running game a little bit for a moment. Ronnie Dries came in last week, had a big game. He stepped up, had a touchdown on offense. He got hurt in the first game against Northern Highlands. And he came back last week after 3 weeks off on offense and had a big game. Do you see him getting the load on offense as far as running the ball goes, or do you see DeBianca or Dowling getting carries in this one?
I see Ronnie taking most of the carries if he's 100% healthy. If not, they know that they have the versatility of DeBianca and Dowling. Obviously, Dowling, a superstar sophomore, has played pretty fantastic.
Yes, absolutely. I agree. I think Ronnie Dries is going to get the bulk of the carries in this game. Dowling and DeBianca might spell him if he gets a little tired, which is very important to have depth on your offense. Now, Anthony, predictions for this game. Give me a winner and a score.
I'm going to have to go with Wayne Hills on this one. Obviously, their offense is really strong and defense is huge. I mean, I don't see any reason why they would not win by more than 10 points. I'm going to go with 41-20.
41-20. I'm going to go with a lot closer of a margin, a little bit more lower scoring in my opinion. Pascack Valley, I think, is going to come out very hot out of the gate. I think they're going to start out well. I think it's going to be a close game at halftime. I mean, you look around here at the stands and you see the Pascack Valley students very wound up for this game. They have face paint, Indian feathers. I mean, they got it all going for them out here, blowhorns. So I think they're going to come out of the gates very hot, and I think they might actually take a lead against Hills. It's going to be close at halftime, but I think Hills is just a better team. Come out in the second half, dominate. I say final score, 28-13, Wayne Hills.
It's a lot closer, John.
That it is, Anthony. Wayne Hills will try to continue the streak after this.
3rd and 5 for the Indians from their own 37-yard line. Fly rolls out to the right side of the field, getting pressured by Drake. As the pass is intercepted by Jeremiah Kale. Kale to the 40, does that to the right side of the field. He's got blocking downfield to the 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown Patriots. Jeremiah Kale, his 10th interception of the season, takes it back for a touchdown as the Patriots take a 6-0 lead.
Hello and welcome back to Pascack Valley High School as your Wayne Hills Patriots take the field in this NBIL crash as they touch the rock, as is their tradition, as they've won 45 games in a row. They will go for 46 tonight as the Patriots take the field. Anthony, how do you see this game playing out?
I think Pascack Valley is going to come off the box hard. I mean, they're going to score points, but not enough to win the game.
The atmosphere is electric out here as Pascack Valley has packed their bleachers with fans, the band, and the student section with blowhorns, Indian feathers. They got the whole thing going over here. So this is a huge game here at Pascack Valley. It is definitely their Super Bowl.
Yeah, this is really exciting, John.
We'll be back with the opening kickoff after a short break.
Monahan turns around, takes a quick peek at the clock, hands it up the middle to Lynn, who gets outside. Chaz Lynn, it's a foot race. He's at the 40, to the 30. Lynn still on the feet, and he's in. Touchdown, Wayne Hills.
Look at the clock, Lou. It reads 000 as Chaz Lynn plays his own version of Beat the Clock. He had to go one place, and that was into the end zone, because if he was tackled, the half was over. Chaz Lynn beats the clock.
Here come the Indians as this crowd erupts.
This environment is amazing, John. This is what high school football is all about.
Absolutely, as the Indians will run through the banner now, and this place will just get even louder. This place is looking forward to an upset. They come in 5-0. They think they have a legit shot at winning this game.
It's going to be a hard-fought battle, but in the end, I see Wayne Hills coming out strong.
And here they come, the Pascack Valley Indians.
Oh, my God. This looks like a tough team, John. You know, 26 kids, 6 foot or over. Big, strong team.
And they will not let up in the first quarter, Anthony. They're going to come out firing on all cylinders. The adrenaline's definitely going to be pumping. I expect a close game from the beginning.
I'm not quite sure how much depth Pascack Valley has, though. It looks like a small squad. I mean, Wayne Hills is loaded with kids, sophomores and up. I mean, they have kids starting in peewees and training them through now.
Yeah, I talked to one of the Pascack Valley fans before the game. He was telling me some of the starting players for the Indians, and a lot of the players play both offense and defense, both sides of the ball. So they might get tired as this game goes along. Fatigue may play a factor in the second half.
Yeah, Wayne Hills is going to have to pounce on that.
The captains will assemble and walk toward the center of the field for the coin flip.
The captains for tonight for Wayne Hills. Number 23, Ronnie Treese. Number 14, Justin Horahan. Number 8, Mike Waller. And number 5, Brian Ogden. And number 45, Ryan DiDerno. For Pascack Valley, number 4, Matt Buser. Number 25, Kevin Rems. And number 71, Colin Schmidt.
Kevin Rems, the standout tailback for the Indians, comes into the game as their leader and captain on both the offensive and defensive side of the ball. Anthony, what do you think Wayne Hills has to do to contain him in this game?
Well, obviously, if they can't establish the run, they're not going to be able to get much passing going. So as soon as they stop him, the passing game should slow down.
I agree. I think if Wayne Hills can shut down the run, they're gonna have to. Pascack Valley is gonna have to rely on their passing game, which they haven't done too well so far in the season.
The referee for today is Peter Cirillo.
FSU.
The umpire is Jim Ritchie. The linesman is Peter Hudo. The line judge is Mr. Rich Olivalo. The back judge is Mr. Sam Curry. And the clock operator is Neil Rottweiler.
He's a captain.
Back to return for Pascack Valley, number 13, Tommy Cora, and number 25, Kevin Rems.
As you may have heard, Rems and Cora, the two stars for the Indians, are back to receive the kickoff from junior Tim Divers.
Kicking off for Wayne Hills is number 6, Tim Divers.
The Wayne Hills kickoff team has taken the field, and this game is ready to be underway.
Here we go, John.
Divers approaches the ball, and the clash of two 5-0 teams is underway. Received inside the 5. I believe that's Rems with the ball. Crosses the 20 and is met by a swarm of Wayne Hill defenders before he can get to the 25-yard line. A good stop on the first play by Hills.
Yeah, PV didn't do a good job of locking those defenders up and getting them out of the way so they could get a nice little hole to run through.
Very important for Wayne Hills to stop PV on the opening kickoff. They were fired up coming in this game. It was very important for Wayne Hills to not allow them to have a big return.
Offensive and defensive lines.
After this, quarterback Mike Lagonchuk under center for the Indians. As the first play is a handoff to the left side, and he's eaten up by Wayne Hills on the first play. A big play by the Wayne Hills defense as you are about to meet their defensive starting lineup.
Paul Drake, number 59.
Ryan Salerno, number 55.
Nick Tuminello, number 64.
Brian Dickman, number 86.
Mike Waller, number 8. Ryan DiDerno, number 45. James D'Electus, number 44. Albert Falzerano, number 13.
Ronnie Dries, number 23.
Ryan Ogden, number 5. Matt DeBlock, number 80.
Waller made the tackle on that play for the Patriots defense. As
PV didn't get around there. Their run blocking didn't get all the way around, so Rems could hit the corner.
Logan Shuck in the shotgun with two backs next to him. He drops back to throw. Looks right, throws over the middle. Incomplete. Pass was dropped by the receiver. Matt DeBlock, the safety, was in on that play.
Yeah, you got to catch those, John. That was right in his hands.
And that's the star for PV, Kevin Rems, who came out of the backfield on that play, trying to make the play on the seam and couldn't do it.
You know, big games, you got to make big plays, and obviously the first two plays, that's not happening.
Well, PV's going to have to rely on Rems in this game, so he's going to have to step it up sooner or later.
Yeah, it's really early, though. Let's see what's going on, John.
Logan Shuck in the shotgun again. 4 receivers set for the Indians. Logan Shuck takes the snap, drops back to throw again, and he's met by the Wayne Hills defensive line. A mob of Patriots defenders closing in on Logan Shuck, and he goes down and set up a 3rd and long for Pascack Valley.
Drake hit the corner well there. I mean, he came around the edge. Paul Drake, senior, very quick, very versatile, came around the edge and hit the quarterback hard.
Tuminello also got in on that sack. So now my bad on that. It's now 4th down for Pascack Valley.
Let's see if the kick returners for Hills can do something. Ogden and Horahan.
It's a high, short kick. Goes out of bounds at about the official's going to mark it at the 45-yard line of Pascack Valley, so Hills will get excellent field position right out of the gate.
Yeah, you got to kick the ball farther than that, John. I mean, I know it's high school; these kids aren't fully developed and everything, but you gotta have a little more of a boot.
Perhaps a punter from Pascack Valley was trying to keep the ball out of Brian Ogden's hands. They've seen the highlight reels; they see how explosive this kid can be. Possibly that was their strategy there, to just take it out of the hands of Ogden.
It's a good point, John. I mean, obviously he's very quick. He's got a lot of nice moves, and he gets by a lot of kids and runs right through them.
Wayne Hills will start their drive at the 43 of Pascack Valley. Ronnie Dries in the backfield. Mike Quinn will start under center. Man goes in motion. The handoff is up the middle to Dries, who is stopped after a short gain. Falls forward to about the 41. A gain of 2 on first down, which will set up a 2nd and 8 for the Patriots.
Yeah, I mean, he tried to get through the little hole, but, there wasn't much there.
DiBianca went in motion on that play. Faked the sweep, but Dries got the ball and went up the middle for a short gain. Quinn breaks the huddle for the Patriots. Quinn under center in an I formation as the whistle blows. I believe it'll be a timeout for Wayne Hills, and it is. Wayne Hills takes their first time out of the game. We'll be back with more from the first quarter of action after a short break.
Ace set, Van Peenen's the running back. Heischel drops back to pass again, pump fakes, and he's gonna let one go deep. It's to Nick Romeo, and Romeo makes the catch! Oh baby, that one's good for over 20, nearly 30 yards. Nick Romeo has the ball inside Rambo territory at about the 48-yard line. As Justin Donovan says, you can't stop 19.
Welcome back to Pascack Valley, as there is no score here in the early going of the first quarter. Quinn breaks the huddle and will be under center for this 2nd and 8 play. 3 receivers, 2 split out to the left, Drees in the backfield. Quinn drops back, looks left, throws up a fade, and no one is home. The timing was thrown off for Wayne Hills by the Pascack Valley defense, which set up a 3rd and 8.
Yeah, a little miscommunication there, John. I mean, pass blocking didn't do much there. Somebody got right through the gap. You know what?
Bring up 3rd and 8 for Wayne Hills.
I think you have to really give credit to the Pascack Valley corner on that play. That's a timing route. That fade to, I believe it was Horahan. And the corner got a good initial block on Horahan to jam him and not allow Horahan to streak down the sideline.
Yeah, a good jam is always important on the outside. If you get a good jam, many routes are
thrown off.
Thrown off, John. Thank you.
Quinn in the shotgun for the first time in the game. 3 receivers once again. He rolls left. Pressure coming. Quinn throws deep. And it is caught. Caught by Wayne Hills inside the 15-yard line.
That was simply incredible, John. He reached over the other defender and caught the ball.
I can't quite tell who that was, but I believe it was Justin Horahan going up over the top of the defender. The first big play of the game goes to Wayne Hills.
Yeah, Quinn was running away from a lot of defenders there. I mean, they got around the end on the offensive line, and you know what? They finally stopped him, and he had a nice pass to Horahan.
We've seen this so much from Mike Quinn, scrambling and buying time. Quinn under center. He hands it off to Drees up the middle, and he is eaten up. No gain on the play. Sets up a 2nd and long, as now you will meet the starting offensive lineup for your Wayne Hills Patriots.
Christian Avdisian, number 70. Paul Drake, number 59.
Matt Rubin, number 72.
Ryan Salerno, number 55.
Chris Fonte, number 54.
Brian Dickman, number 86.
Mike Quinn, number 12.
Ronnie Drees, number 23.
James Giardiello, number 44.
Ryan Ogden, number 5.
Justin Harhan, number 14.
You see Ronnie Drees making his 3rd start of the season at tailback. Was hurt in the first game against Northern Highlands. Came back last week and had a big game for the Patriots against Old Tappan. 11 carries, 65 yards, and a touchdown, as Wayne Hills has a 2nd and about 11 from inside the Pascack Valley 15-yard line. Quinn fakes the handoff, looks over the middle, throws it up, incomplete.
That was just too high of a pass for Ogden. I mean, he's got a good jumping ability, but that was just out of reach.
For Brian Ogden, broken up by
Quinn misses the target there on the 2nd and long play. Ogden had a little bit of an opening there, but a tough throw for Quinn to make, and he was not able to complete that one.
Back to the running backs, John. I mean, obviously, Wayne Hills has a lot of versatility at running back with a 3-headed monster, basically, and Brian Dowling, DeBianca, and Ronnie Drees.
So far, Drees has had all the carries on offense. DeBianca has been in the game as well. So it'll be interesting to see who Wayne Hills gives the ball to in the rushing game. Wayne Hills breaks the huddle on a 3rd and 11 play, a huge play for them. They have 3 receivers set up to the right side. Quinn under shotgun, drops back, pressure comes, it's fought off by the line. Quinn with all the time in the world throws over the middle, incomplete, intended for Brian Ogden. The pocket finally broke down for Quinn. No flag on the play.
There's a flag.
I'm sorry, there is a flag on the play. My mistake.
I was trying to tell you there's a flag.
And it's going to be pass interference on Pascack Valley. The fans do not like that here in Pascack Valley, as it'll be a 1st down for Wayne Hills, as they will mark off the yardage.
Yeah, I mean, he clearly grabbed him there, John. I mean, no reason why that shouldn't be pass interference.
Well, a smart throw by Quinn. receiver was covered, but he threw it in a place where only his guy could catch it. And the only thing the PV defender could do there was commit the penalty, and he did.
I mean, when you have that much time, why not just run it? He had open yards in front of him.
It's always a possibility. Quinn has showed some fleet of foot so far in the early season. First and goal for Wayne Hills out of the 5-yard line of Pascack Valley. 3 receivers again. Quinn drops back. Pressure coming from behind, and he's sacked. Sacked by the Pascack Valley rush. And Wayne Hills is pushed back outside the Pascack Valley 10. The first big play of the game for the Indians, and these Pascack Valley fans finally have something to cheer about.
Yeah, Corey Pizer came around the end and untouched, and he just annihilated him.
That was a huge play for Pascack Valley. Hills was threatening first down inside the 5. I mean, you have to expect them to score a touchdown in that situation, but now second and goal from it looks like about the 12-yard line.
It's going to be a little more difficult to score from here.
Pascack Valley shows blitz. Quinn under center, I formation. Up the middle to Dries. He finds a hole, but is brought down quickly by a Pascack Valley linebacker at about the 10.
John, at this point, you just got to keep getting yards and yards and yards. Just keep chopping.
That'll set up a third and goal for Hills at about the 10-yard line.
Third down for Wayne Hills.
Another big third down inside the Pascack Valley red zone.
I mean, with the field position Wayne Hills received on the bad punt, you got to take advantage of this.
It would be a huge momentum boost for the Indians if they could stop them here. Quinn in shotgun, joined by a back. 3 receivers set, 2 to the left side. Man goes in motion. They fake the sweep. Quinn under pressure. And it's incomplete. Incomplete. The whistle sounds. That'll set up 4th down for Wayne Hills. Quinn tried to shovel it off to, I believe, Dries, one of the running backs that was coming out of the backfield. But it was batted down by Pascack Valley for an incompletion, as Tim Divers will now come on the field to attempt the field goal.
Clearly that wasn't a fumble, John. I mean, I think these fans are just a little rambunctious right now.
A little anxious. They want to see some big plays from their Indians. Tim Divers will attempt what appears to be about a 27-yard field goal from the center of the field.
Tim Divers on to attempt the field goal.
He's been pretty good from this distance, John.
This should be routine for him. The snap is good, hold is good, and there's a mistake as Divers picks it up and tries to run with it. He has nowhere to go. Eaten up by PV. I'm not sure if that was the hold or the timing was thrown off or what, but a huge play for Pascack Valley as they have taken the momentum right back from Wayne Hills.
It looks like it was flubbed by the holder, John. I mean, you practice this day in and day out. I mean, I know it's cold and everything, but you got to catch that ball and put it down.
That's a mistake we're not used to seeing from these Patriots, as the momentum is right back on the Indian side here as they will take over from their own 20-yard line to begin their second drive of the game.
I don't see a reason why Wayne Hills won't stop them here. I mean, their defense is going to come out angry.
Logan Shuck hands it off up the middle, and the running back carries defenders for a gain of about 12 and a Pascack Valley first down.
I may have spoke too soon, John.
First down.
Well, we'll see if Wayne Hills can weather the storm here and try to hold off PV on the second drive of the game for them.
That was a great job of run blocking. He had a huge hole right up the middle, and he just ran right through it, John.
That was all Rems carrying defenders. As you see the adrenaline flowing through his veins at this point. Logan Shuck under center once again. I formation for the Indians. 2 receivers to the left. Man goes in motion. And it's a handoff again. And this time he's taken out from down low by the Wayne Hills defensive line. A nice play by the tackles, Salerno and Tuminello.
Obviously, Salerno and Tuminello are both some young guns, juniors at Wayne Hills High School, and they showed their talent last year.
Second and 10 now for the Indians after a no gain on the first run. PV sets up 2 receivers to the right. Fullback in the lineup once again. Logan Shuck under center. Hills shows a blitz by the middle linebackers but drops back. Logan Shuck play fake, rolls right, looks for an open receiver and finds one. for a first down. He breaks a tackle and goes down at the 47-yard line. Another first down for the Indians as they're trying to put a drive together here.
That was an extremely well-designed play, John. You had the tight end coming across from the left to the right and the wide receiver from the right to the left. Whenever you get those crosses, you get miscommunication on the linebackers and defensive backs.
Absolutely. Both the corner and the safety went after the out route on that play, and the other guy burned him up the middle of the field. Logan Shuck will be under center. One receiver to each side, I formation. Long snap count. Handoff up the middle. Another hole for Pascack Valley, and another Indians first down. They're driving it right down the throats of the Patriots as they're into Wayne Hill's territory at the 41.
Pascack Valley first down.
Yeah, the Wayne Hills linemen got to step up. I mean, they're running right through them. They got to get through this run block and get in there.
All right, it's the first quarter, second drive. PV offensive line opening up holes in the Wayne Hills defense, something we haven't seen too much of this year.
They got to play a little tougher, John.
PV has gotten away now from the I formation. Man in the backfield. Number 75 goes in motion. It's a double reverse as a running back is cutting across the field, and he will be stuffed. Finally wrapped up for no gain by the Wayne Hills defense. Great contained by them, as I believe that was Jimmy Bueller, the receiver, on the double reverse for Pascack Valley.
It's a good play, John, but you know, Wayne's ends and defensive backs are way too quick for that to happen.
Wayne Hills definitely has a ton of speed on defense as Ryan DiDerno closed in on that play coming from across the field. A great play by him. Logan Shuck under center, back to the I formation. Handoff up the middle for a medium gain on the play. I believe that was Rems once again up the middle. Picks up about 5 yards inside the Wayne Hills 30 to the 37.
This size factor has been a big problem for Wayne Hills so far. Obviously, we said before they have some monsters on the line, but you know, Wayne Hills has got to get through these big guys on the offensive line and get to that running back.
Well, we've seen this team go through a ton of fitness and conditioning exercises throughout the offseason. They trained so hard through the summer. So I think the Wayne Hills defensive line will be able to keep up with the Pascack Valley offensive line later in the game. Logan Shuck under center, four receivers, and it's incomplete. Dropped by the receiver, number 7, Paul Koshler. That would have been another first down for Pascack Valley, but it'll set up a fourth down.
Almost an interception there for Wayne Hills, John. I mean, that ball came loose right out of his hands. So far, I mean, there's only been a few pass plays, but 2 of them were dropped.
I mispronounced the receiver's name on that. His name is Paul Kohler, my bad. As Pascack Valley will punt, an interesting decision by them. And it's a fake. And they will try to run it up the middle, and they have the first down. Some trickery from Pascack Valley. The fake punt gets them the first down at the Wayne Hills 30-yard line. I was a little confused by Pascack Valley's decision to punt with fourth down inside the Wayne Hills 40, but they weren't punting. They went for it and got it. A nice play by them.
And normally a team would go for a field goal at this range, but you know what? Coming out of the box hard and trying to make something happen.
Logan Shuck under center. Number 9, it goes in motion. That is Bueller. Handoff up the middle. Nothing there. Maybe a gain of a couple. Wayne Hills defense held strong on that play. Rems has gotten the majority of the carries so far for Pascack Valley. He's done a pretty good job going right up the middle.
This is true, John. Ogden having some problems with Colin Schmidt at the end right there. You know, having some words, you know. Can't say that out loud, but you know what? Ogden's got to get in there and make something happen. Obviously, he's an extraordinary playmaker.
PV with 1 man in the backfield. A new quarterback in there now, as that is number 13, Tommy Cora, who is the more of a running quarterback for the Indians, as he tries to take a sneak to the right side and does not get much, maybe 1 or 2 on the play.
Cora on the carry. Brought down by Salerno. It'll bring up third down for the Indians.
I guarantee you.
Logan Shuck will come back in. I'm sorry, that's not Logan Shuck. That is Kohler. So dual quarterback situation for Pascack Valley. As
I wonder
Cora
why
is under center once again.
My fault.
Handoff up the middle. Nothing there. Wayne Hills with another big stop, setting up a 4th down. To Manello with a big play there to plug up the hole. And now another decision time for Pascack Valley at the Wayne Hills 25-yard line. It'll be a long field goal, but they'll most likely go for it here. Would you agree, Anthony?
I would, but in a normal game, you might just want to score the points here and get 3 on the board. But obviously, this is a huge game for both teams, and whatever you got to do to get the W.
4th and a short 5 for Pascack Valley as the whistle is blown. Timeout, Indians. So
timeout, Pascack Valley.
As the first quarter winds down, it's no score. Has Pascack Valley impressed you so far the way they've come out of the gates?
They have. They stopped Wayne Hills on a big drive with great field position and got the ball back, started driving down the field, but having a little bit of trouble here with 4th down.
The biggest play, I think, in the game was definitely the botched field goal attempt for Wayne Hills. I mean, they had a chance to put points up on the board early and take an early lead and really take the fire out of this Pascack Valley team and shut up these fans, and they weren't able to do that. PV got a big play, and now they're marching down the field against Hills.
This is true, John. I mean, you practice that every day. This is what practice is for, to get better at the normal things. And obviously, I know it's cold. We all know it's cold. It's very cold, actually. But regardless of the weather or the conditions of the field, you got to get that down and have the kicker, boot it.
You're absolutely right. They practice this every day. They have to make that snap. I mean, I believe it was the holder's mistake on that play. But it is cold. It's really the first cold game they've had to play so far, so possibly that's what it was. So now a huge play. Cora still at the quarterback position for the Indians. 4th and 5 from the Hills 25. 2 backs next to him as he takes the snap, fakes a handoff, drops back, pressure comes. He throws complete for a 1st down. A huge play by Cora, the quarterback. 1st down, Indians, as Shisharillo makes the play for the PV and a 1st down. Huge play by the quarterback as he was able to scramble with the defense bearing down on him and make a very, very gutsy throw.
Wayne Hills has to get some more pressure on the quarterback. I mean, obviously one guy can make something happen, but not enough if the defensive backs aren't stopping these balls.
You have to give credit to Cora on that play as D. Delectus broke through the line and was bearing down on him. You showed some courage there, Cora did, to find the open receiver for a big 1st down. Number 5. Logan Shuck back under center now for PV as the handoff is up the middle for not very much. Gain of 1, maybe 2. As PV is now inside the Wayne Hills red zone at about the 18-yard line.
Hey, Wayne Hills swarmed all over him that time, John. I mean, nothing you can do if there's not a hole.
Second and 9 for PV. Logan Shuck, the quarterback, once again. 2 receivers, one on each side for the Indians. Logan Shuck, the handoff up the middle, finds a little bit of a hole. He'll be short of the 1st down by about a yard or 2. A nice run for PV to set up a 3rd and short. As the 1st quarter is winding down.
And that'll bring us to the end of the 1st quarter.
That is the end of the 1st quarter with PV driving on your Patriots. At the end of the 1st quarter of action, the score is 0-0. We'll be back with the 2nd quarter after this.
Emotionally, look at Greg. Wow, he's just ecstatic. He can't believe it. It's unbelievable.
So with 10 seconds left to go, Monahan's gonna have to make it one more time. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and it is over. Wayne Hills is the 2002 Group 3 North 1 State Championship, their 1st ever state championship, and what a fantastic end to an amazing season for Wayne Hills.
And you know what? Greg Olson has won a state title for his father, Chris Olson, and 1st one in Wayne Hills history.
Welcome back to Pascack Valley High School, as there is no score as we enter the 2nd quarter of play. Pascack Valley driving the ball. A very important 3rd and short at the Hills 10-yard line here.
If Hills gets a stop here, it's going to slow down this team because momentum is huge.
Oh, and Logan Shuck drops the ball. He botches the snap, and I think Wayne Hills has it. And they do. A turnover for the Patriots as they take the ball right back from the Indians. The second big turnover of the game, and Wayne Hills gets the momentum right back.
I told you, John, a turnover or a stop would be huge, and obviously it is. Silence this crowd, which is an important factor in any game.
It is dead silent now on the Pascack Valley side of the field as the Wayne Hills side has come alive. The band is playing their upbeat once again. Patriots will take over at the PV 10-yard line, looking to put together a long drive. Quinn leads the offense on 1st and 10. One receiver to the right, tight ends in this formation. Handoff up the middle, met hard by PV. No gain on the play. Huge stop by PV on that play. 2nd and 10 now.
A lot of contact after the play, John. You got to be careful, or penalty will be called. I said a penalty will be called if it's more contact. I said or.
No penalty on that play as Quinn goes into the huddle on 2nd and 10. Trips to the left side for the Patriots. Quinn under center. No one in the backfield. A swing pass to an open receiver who has a seam and goes up around the 1st down marker. He'll be short on that.
Nice little bubble screen by Wayne Hills.
Well executed.
Down by Corey Kaiser.
Ronnie Drees made the catch and was able to find a little bit of an opening to make it a reasonable 3rd down play. 3rd and 5 for Wayne Hills.
Big 3rd and 5 here, John. If they don't get this, then a punt would give Pascack Valley some good field position.
PV has done a good job of stopping the run so far. Drees has not really broken out too many big plays. They haven't made any tackles for a loss, but Drees hasn't been able to break any long runs so far.
Yeah, the running game is huge for Wayne Hills.
3rd and 5. Quinn leads the team under center. Hands off up the middle to Drees. He might have gotten it. Very close. Of questionable call by Coach Olson to run the ball on 3rd and 5, but I guess he was confident with his running back to pick it up. And they are right at the marker.
Down by Kohler and
they
Hart.
might do a measurement here.
It'll bring up 4th down for the Patriots.
And they're going to call it 4th down. Just shy of the marker. 4th and inches for Hills as Coach Olson will elect to punt here with Wayne Hills backed up inside their own 20.
John, I'd watch for the fake punt here. They only got a few inches to go. Maybe a direct snap to one of the guys calling it.
Possibly.
Ogden
will punt it away
back to return.
if they don't fake. And it's a clean snap. Ogden punts it away. Not too good of a kick as it's a short, high punt. And it'll be down by Wayne Hills at about the 39-yard line. So great field position for the Indians as they will look to put their first points up on the board in this game.
That's a momentum killer for Wayne Hills. I mean, the 4th and inches, in a big game, you might go for that. I'm not understanding Coach Olson's call there.
Well, it's the first half, and Wayne Hills doesn't want to give PV any easy chances to score. And if they don't get that, I mean, they really give PV, they're handing them points if they don't get that.
Yeah, they won 5 in a row, right? 5 championships.
No, 5 out of 6.
I don't know if I'd go against Coach Olson, though. He has rings for every finger on his right hand,
including the thumb. Quarterback under center for PV as they begin this 3rd drive of the game. As it'll go up the middle. Nice gain for PV. I wasn't sure if they gave it to the streaking man in motion on the jet sweep, but it went up the middle. A little misdirection there from PV.
Good for about 9.
As they get 8 to 9 yards on that play. 2nd and short for the Indians.
2nd and short for the Indians.
He ran right over him there, John.
Logan Shuck will be the quarterback. As we saw, Cora got some action on the last drive. Logan Shuck under center. Man goes in motion. And it's a handoff up the middle. As PV will pick up the 1st down inside the Wayne Hills 30 to about the 26. As they will move the chains for PV.
Rems on the carry, good enough for a first down.
Cora was out wide there. I mean, obviously he's listed as a quarterback and a defensive back, but maybe a little trickery there, trying to get some thoughts into the heads of the Wayne Hills defenders.
That's something to definitely look for in the rest of this game. Logan Shuck under center. 2 receivers for him, I formation. Another handoff up the middle to Rems as he is stopped for a short gain of about 1 or 2. So Wayne Hills is D tackles held strong on that play. Rems has taken a bunch of carries so far. He's probably up to around 10 or 12 carries. They've really given him the load on offense.
Is that a helicopter? Tell me that's a helicopter. It's a helicopter. No, it's not.
I formation for Pascack Valley. Logan Shuck under center. 2 receiver set. Play fake. Drops back to pass. Throws right. Incomplete. A high throw from Logan Shuck as the pressure got to him there and threw off his timing as he threw the ball just too high for his receiver.
So wise man once told me, John, if it touched your hands, you can catch the ball.
And it touched the receiver's hands there, and he wasn't able to come up with the ball.
Also touched the defender's hands there, too.
Yeah, tough chance for the Wayne Hills linebackers for an interception there, but the ball was there. They weren't able to come up with it. 3rd and about 8 now for PV at the Wayne Hills 23-yard line. PV breaks the huddle with 4 receivers, no tight ends in this formation. Logan Shuck in the shotgun. Drops back to pass.
A lot of pressure.
The middle, incomplete. The receiver had no idea the ball was coming. That was Tommy Cora, the other kid that comes in to play quarterback. And Wayne Hills had a chance to block the safety to pick that one off, but the ball was just too high for it to block, and Cora had no idea it was coming.
Lots of defensive line were up in his face there. I mean, threw off his timing, threw off the route.
4th down now for the Indians as they will attempt a 40-yard field goal, showing confidence in their kicker. Wayne Hills has to be wary of the fake here as it's a far attempt. 4th and 8. The kicker is number 30 for PV. It's a lefty kick, and it's not even close. A low line drive kick fell short of the back of the end zone. An ugly kick from him as PV is held off the board by your Patriots. With 7:37 to go in the second quarter, there's still no score as Wayne Hills will take over on downs.
John, it looked like they might have tipped that kicker. Maybe he just hit it wrong. I mean, did they get a guy off the sideline, put a jersey on him and say, hey, you're going to kick tonight?
They might have, because that guy's not on the roster. I don't see a number 30 here. So you might be right, Anthony. You might have pulled him off the soccer team for this one. Quinn under center, toss right. I believe that's Dowling, as he is able to fight through the defenders and get about 6 to 7 yards on the run.
I think it was.
Dowling on the toss, brought down.
That was the
Rems.
sophomore Brian Dowling, who's gotten some action in this game. He didn't play too much against Old Japan until the 4th quarter.
Obviously, Wayne Hill showing the versatility at the running back position, John.
Well, Dries really hasn't gotten it done too well so far, so Coach Olson going with a secondary candidate with Dowling, who is in the game once again. Quinn looks to throw this time. It's a slant for Horahan. The throw was behind Justin Horahan, who was not able to come up with the catch. And if he had caught that, it would have been a first down for Hills, but he would have been tackled quickly as the safety was closing in on him.
For Horahan, broken up by
Maybe they're wetting the balls, John, because really nobody's catching the ball today. A lot of drops.
Could be attributed to the cold weather we've had in this game. We really have not seen too many good catches by the receivers so far.
Wayne Hills is going to need to convert on this 3rd down.
3rd and 5 for Wayne Hills at their own 25-yard line, trying to put together their first successful drive of the game.
Dowling still in.
Dowling still the running back. Man goes in motion as it is a run up the middle. Nothing there for Wayne Hills. Another run on 3rd down as they will be forced to punt now. 4th down and 5.
Looked like a quarterback option there, John. I don't know. That's a questionable call on 3rd down and a good 5. I mean, you got to get some yards, John. They're not going to score until you get some yards.
Well, the key to that play was deception, and they were not able to sell it well enough to the PV linebackers who were there to make the play. Ogden will punt once again, second punt of the game with 6:30 to go in the second quarter. Ogden, a low kick, much better this time as it chases the PV returner way back into his zone inside the 25 as he'll let it roll now. It'll be down by Tom DiBianca at the 23-yard line of PV. So a very effective punt by Ogden. Not quite as high and pretty as the last one, but it had much more distance as he got a good roll and it bounced well inside the PV 30-yard line.
20, 40, 60, 80, 70.
That was a fantastic punt. It looks to be 70 yards as we calculate the numbers here, John.
That's got to be Ogden's career high. A great punt from him, really pushing back PV into their own zone after they thought they might have had good field position. Snap is away on 1st and 10. It goes to Rems, who carries defensive lineman again for a gain of about 2. That play looked to be bottled up for no gain, but Rems was able to break through for a short gain.
I mean, once he got his initial progress, he was quickly stopped.
PV's been giving Wayne Hills a steady diet of Kevin Rems so far, just running him up the middle, and they've been successful, so they're going to keep going to it until Wayne Hills can prove they can stop it.
Well, hopefully Wayne Hills will eat him up soon.
I expect them to do that. Logan Shuck under center. 2 receivers, 1 fullback in the lineup. As it's a handoff up the middle once again to Rems, who's stopped for nothing. A gain of 1, maybe 2 to about the Hills 27 or 28 yard
Rems
line.
on the carry
Set up
for a short gain,
about
brought
a
down by
3rd
Solero.
and
It'll bring up
5.
3rd and 6.
John, I think that's after looking at the spot, which is not a good one, it looks to be 3rd and 8. I don't know, John. Maybe it says 3rd and... Excuse me, 3rd and 6.
It clearly said 3rd and 8.
Logan Shuck sets up an I formation. 3 receivers, 2 to the right side. Hills shows a blitz up the middle. And there's confusion at the line of scrimmage as the snap is away. And Logan Shuck is sacked. Sacked in the backfield as they will now have to punt. 4th and long for PV. A great play by the Hills blitz as they came right up the middle, and Logan Shuck had no chance from the start of that play.
I mean, Wayne Hills got a great jump on that snap. They timed it perfectly. They came through the line and hit him hard.
Sack goes to Nick Tuminello, who's really come into form midway through this Wayne Hills season for the Patriots. He had 2 or 3 sacks in the last game, and I believe that's his 2nd in this game, so he's come up big so far for them. PV sets up to punt. The punter standing at his own 10. 2 men back to receive it for the Patriots. It's a low average kick taken by Ogden, who finds a seam and is able to squirt forward inside the PV 45 to about the 43. Pretty good return by Ogden to get something out of that.
Yeah, he broke 1 tackle and got stopped by a few defenders. I mean, great job at least catching the ball because it's a cold night. Obviously, wide receivers haven't caught many balls, so great job on that.
Other than the field goal attempt for Wayne Hills, this is their first real opportunity to put points on the board. They have great field position on this drive as they'll start it from the 39 of the Indians. So Quinn is going to have to get some yards here and get some points on the board before half, as there's only 4 minutes to go in the first half. Quinn hands off the middle. That is Drees in the game once again. Picks up about 2 yards to about the 36 of Pascack Valley.
Probably 36. I mean, second and 6.
Drees on the carry, brought down by Kevin Rems. It'll bring up 2nd and 8 for Wayne Hills.
Rems with the tackle for PV, who's really been the star for them so far. Clock ticking at 3:36 to go in the second quarter. No score here at Pascack Valley.
That was the first time Ronnie Drees got a good initial push.
Yeah, he really needs to get some more help from his offensive line. Quinn under center. I formation, hand up the middle again, as Drees is stopped for a short gain of about 1 or 2.
Questionable calls by Coach Olson. Obviously, Brian Dowling was in on the last drive, and he had some momentum going, but he goes back to Drees.
I'm a little bit surprised Wayne Hills isn't throwing the ball this game. I mean, Mike Quinn had a huge game last time. I think he's only thrown 3 or 4 balls so far in this game. So, I mean, look for him to throw the ball more. He broke a school record for passing yards in the last game. So, it could be that it's a little cold. He might not have confidence in his receivers to catch the ball, but I'd like to see Wayne Hills throw the ball a little bit more. As Wayne Hills toes the line at the 35 of PV, a 3rd and 6. Quinn drops back, buys time, and the screen is dropped. A drop catch from Wayne Hills, and that'll set up a 4th down. A tough decision now for Coach Olson, as he could punt or go for it. It would be about a 52-yard field goal for Divers, so I believe that's out of his range.
Back deep for the Indians.
And indeed, Wayne Hills will set up a punt on 4th and 7 from the PV 45. A 3-and-out forced by PV. Their defense has looked pretty impressive so far. Ogden will punt it away. It's a low kick that is fielded by PV. He called a fair catch, as there was some confusion by both teams as to whether that fair catch was granted. Questionable call by the returner there to call a fair catch inside his own 10. Normally the rule of thumb is if it's inside the 10 to let it go and try to bounce into the end zone.
Isn't it a penalty if you call a fair catch and start to run?
Maybe that's an NFL penalty.
You know, John, with 2 minutes left, Pascack is going to have a hard time, getting down the field this quick, but they have driven the ball very well so far, but Wayne Hills has come up with some lucky plays and ways to stop them.
I don't expect Pascack Valley to really put up a strong effort to try to score here. I mean, they have it at their own 5-yard line, with 2.5 minutes to go. I expect them to just run the ball and try to milk some clock. Man in motion for Pascack Valley. Handoff up the middle to Rems. Not too much there. Waller getting in on that play. Nice play by the Patriots defense as the clock ticks under 2:14.
Rems on the carry, brought down by Waller. It'll bring up 2nd down for the Indians.
And as I expected, Pascack Valley just running the ball now as the clock ticks down to 2 minutes. I mean, they're going into the locker room with a tie score 0-0 is a great moral victory for PV, so they're going to be happy going in with just a tie game.
I mean,
Another handoff up the middle as Rems is fighting through the line. A strong run by him as he gets a 1st down at the 18-yard line of PV.
Kevin Rems, good enough for a Valley, 1st down.
Rems is doing a great job. Keep chopping his feet, and obviously, arm tackles aren't going to get this guy down. You got to get a full body tackle on this guy.
Absolutely. We haven't seen this amount of missed tackles by Wayne Hills really ever. I mean, Rems is breaking tackles like it's nothing. Man goes in motion for PV. Another handoff up the middle to Rems, who finds a hole, explodes through the hole, and gets into the secondary. A flag on the play. This one may be called back as Rems gets close to the 1st down marker. With 1:18 to go, it'll most likely be a holding on PV.
He hit that line hard, John, and just kept chopping. And it looks to be a hold, John.
And it is. Hold on Pascack Valley. As it'll probably be about a 2nd and 20. We will see where they'll spot the ball. 1:18 to go, so I really don't think this matters too much. Wayne Hills with 2 timeouts, so they might use them after this play to try to get the ball back with a chance to score before the half.
How cold are the cheerleaders? Wayne Hills has sweatpants on. Like the cheerleaders, they have sweatpants and sweatpants.
Logan Shuck breaks the huddle as clock ticks under 1 minute now. 4 receivers set for the Indians on 2nd and 20. And it's a handoff up the middle. As the runner is able to get a good gain on the play, a gain of about 7 or 8 yards. To set up.
Kaiser on the carry.
That was Kaiser that time. First carry for him, first time they haven't given the ball to Rems.
It'll bring up 2nd and 8 for the Indians.
I mean, a little bit going off pace of what they've been doing, and other than giving the ball to Rems, Kaiser got a nice gain and almost back to the line of scrimmage, if not past it on that one.
Looks like Wayne Hills has conceded to go into the locker room with a tie score, as they're not called using their timeouts here. So it'll probably be the final play of the half. 15 seconds to go. Clock ticking. Logan Shuck hands it up the middle. I think that might be Rems. He's short of the 1st down. Up to about the 35, As time ticks 2-1-0, the end of the first half. A very impressive half from Pascack Valley. As going into the half, it is tied at 0. Anthony, have you been surprised by PV?
I have. I mean, I predicted this to be a high-scoring affair by both teams, and Wayne Hills coming out on top. But thus far, Wayne Hills has been stopped on every single occasion they've had to score points. You know what? With a flubbed field goal attempt, you know what? They got to execute plays better than they are.
Yeah, I am very surprised by this 0-0 score going into halftime. I mean, both teams had good chances to score in the first half. PV fumbled the snap at the Wayne Hills 10, and then Wayne Hills botched the snap. So both teams made mistakes, but I think you have to give credit to this game to the weather. I mean, both teams dropped passes. They've had to run the ball mainly, and the defense have held fairly strong for both teams. So that's why we're going in with the 0-0 score.
I mean, Wayne Hills gets the ball first in the second half. Let's see if they could do something with it. I mean, they're gonna hear an earful from Coach Olson. I mean, they haven't been doing anything really right thus far.
They are going to hear an earful from Olson. I mean, they have come out and really laid an egg in the first half. They haven't not been able to do anything on offense. I mean, I think they only had about 2 or 3 first downs in the first half. Had a couple 3-and-outs, which is uncharacteristic of a strong Wayne Hills team.
This is true, John. I mean, they got to come out and make a statement.
We will find out after a break. The teams head to the locker room in a scoreless tie.
All this hype about the defense, and it's been true in this game, playing very nice
Corner
defense.
kick. Oh, Wayne Hills Patriots. Ariel Danziger off the deflection of Alyssa Baselli. And just like we were talking about before, how important momentum is in this game. The Wayne Hills Patriots get the first goal in this huge county final, and the Wayne Hills Patriots are on top 1-0.
Patriots putting a lot of defenders in the box. Ryan looking for help, and that is it. That is their final. The Wayne Hills Patriots have just defeated the Wayne Valley Indians in the Passaic County final. Girls soccer, Wayne Hills 1, Wayne Valley nothing. They are your 2005 Passaic County champion.
Welcome back to Pascack Valley High School. I'm Jon Vittas here with Anthony Scudillo. Now, Anthony, a very surprising first half for Pascack Valley as they've been able to hold Hills off the scoreboard as it's 0-0 going into the second half of action. I mean, Anthony, did you expect this?
Honestly, I did not. Wayne Hills is a dynamic offensive team, and they didn't show that they have stuff to play with really anybody in the country.
Yes, Wayne Hills has not put up the performance they've hoped to put up. Going into the second half, the captains will meet at midfield to kick off the second half as Wayne Hills will be receiving. So a chance for Wayne Hills to put the first points on the board on the first drive. Anthony, do you think they'll do it?
Yeah, I do. I mean, obviously, Wayne Hills is one of the top teams in the state other than Don Bosco, which is simply incredible. But, you know, Wayne Hills has got to come off, show their offense, and see what they can do. I mean, unless they stop them every time on defense, which thus far they have, but they've been coming up lucky so far, they might not win this game.
Well, we can only hope they will, because it's 0-0, and the locker room talk was not pleasant, I can assure you of that. This team is going to come out fired up here in the second half, in my opinion, that being Wayne Hills. I think they're going to come out with fire. They were screaming going onto the sideline to start the second half here, as they'll be receiving. So I expect to see some big hits, some big plays from Wayne Hills to come out of the gate on top.
You can never doubt the Wayne Hills Patriots. They have so much spirit, so much valor. I mean, you just can't, put them down. They always find a way to come back and win.
One thing I said in the open of the game today was that Pascack Valley, their big players, are playing both the offensive and defensive side of the balls as Wayne Hills takes the field. I think that fatigue is going to become a factor for PV with these kids playing both sides of the ball. A lot of Wayne Hills' players only play one side, so I think Wayne Hills' conditioning will win them this game. That's my opinion. As we get ready for the second half kickoff, taken from the right hash.
Pascack Valley to open the second half.
The kick is a low line drive that will bounce in front of Brian Ogden, who will take it across the field, across the 20, trying to find a seam, and he does! He brings it at the 50, the 45, they're trying to catch him. I don't know if they will. The 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown, Wayne Hills. Brian Ogden Ogden takes a second half kickoff into the end zone.
And that's the kind of play, John, that gives your team momentum, which might hold up for the rest of the game. That was superb by the senior, Brian Ogden.
The biggest play of the game by far for Wayne Hills, and they come out of the gate in the second half and run the kickoff back for a touchdown. A huge play from Brian Ogden, the senior, as Wayne Hills takes a 6-0 lead.
I mean, I would go against the squib kick here, John. I mean, obviously in the NFL it's not working of late, and I don't know why teams do it. Most of the time you pin the opposing team down at the 20 or the 30, and here they, it backfired on PV and they scored a touchdown.
The biggest play of the season thus far for the Patriots, as Divers will attempt the extra point. The snap is good this time, and the kick is up. A high one, and good. 7-0 Wayne Hills. 16 seconds into the third quarter of action. Brian Ogden with an absolutely huge kick return for a touchdown. Pascack Valley is dead silent. The only noise coming from the side of the field tonight is the Wayne Hills side, as they are ecstatic over there.
Yeah, this is truly remarkable. I didn't see that happening, John, and then he hit that corner and boom, he was gone.
The Pascack Valley side has been very loud this whole game, and right now everyone is sitting and it is dead silent.
Cora and Rems back to return for Valley. Divers on to kick off for Wayne Hills.
They're sitting over here. A demoralized PV team sets up for the return. Divers will kick it away from the middle of the hash. It's a good kick from Divers, a strong kick, driving the returner inside the 10 to the 6. He comes out, gets some blocks, tries to find a hole up the middle, and he will not get too far as he's wrapped up at about the 27.
Just as I said, John, they went with the normal kickoff there, and guess what? He's down at the 26-yard line, not a touchdown.
Down by DiBianca.
And now we will see the heart that Pascack Valley has, as they just saw their tie game, taken away by Wayne Hills. So it's going to really be a test of their courage to see if they can come back and drive the ball down the field against the Hills.
Yeah, that shutout they had, John, just went down the toilet.
3 receiver set for PV. It's a toss to the left to Rems, trying to find the corner, and he does. First down and more to the 40-yard line. An ankle touchdown saving tackle as the flag comes out after the play. Probably a personal foul on one side or the other. I'm not quite sure who made the late hit, but a touchdown saving tackle by someone. Yeah, she's here. Yeah. And the penalty will go against the Patriots.
Ball, personal foul on Wayne Hills.
So right off the bat, Wayne Hills comes out with a punt return, a kickoff return for a touchdown, and now they've been given some life back to the Indians as they committed 15-yard personal foul territory, which will push the ball into the Wayne Hills side of the field at the 46.
That's not what you want to do in that type of situation. You don't want to have a stupid foul like that. You get some momentum going, and you have them stopped, and boom, there's another 15 yards.
Mike Loganchuk will come in. Loganchuk, I'm sorry. I formation for the Indians. 1st and 10 from the Hills 45. Loganchuk hands it off up the middle to Rems, who fights forward to get back to the line of scrimmage, jumping over the tacklers, but
Rems
to no avail as it is no gain. 2nd and 10.
I mean, Wayne Hills came out of the gate motivated. Coach also must have a nice talk with them.
I don't know what to say to that, but that was good.
No, I don't know how to.
2nd and 9 or 2nd and 10 for the Indians. Another handoff up the middle to Rems. Pushes the pile forward for a gain of about 4 or 5. They'll set up a 3rd and medium, about a 3rd and 5. Another run up the middle by Rems. They haven't changed their game plan from the first half.
I mean, maybe they'll shake it up sooner or later, come in with someone else to help him out. I mean, he's getting a majority of the load right now, and, maybe a mix-up is what they need.
They have mixed it up so far, going no huddle as Loganchuk is under center. And then there's going to be an option to the right. The toss is eaten up by the Wayne Hills defense. Dickman with the big play. and it'll set up a
thought I
fourth
heard a
down
whistle.
for the
Revs on
Indians.
the option.
So
Brought
they'll have to
down by
punt.
Dickman.
Big stop by
It'll be
Wayne
a
Hills
fourth
to
down
keep
for the Indians.
PV off the scoreboard after the big electrifying kick return from Brian Ogden.
It's a great job by the Wayne Hills Patriots defense to stop them there. They had good field position after the penalty, and they shut the door right in their faces.
The punt will be kicked by 13 Tommy Cora, who also plays receiver and quarterback. It's a low snap, and it's low, and Cora's trying to handle it. He's going to run for the first down, and he breaks free. He's going to try to get to the sideline, but the contain is there, and he's tracked down by Wayne Hills in Pascack Valley territory. Wayne Hills will take over on downs at the Pascack Valley 47-yard line. Another huge play from Wayne Hills as they get great field position and try to put more points up on the board.
Everything that Pascack Valley did not want to happen in the start of the second half has happened. A fumble, a kick return for a touchdown, everything right now is going in Wayne Hills' way.
They've come out of the locker room exactly the way we've expected them to, with a lot of fire. Quinn leads the offense on a 1st and 10. 2 receivers, I formation. It's a handoff up the middle to Drees, who has a hole, makes a move at the 40, the 30, one man to beat, slows him down, makes a move, and he's going to be wrestled down inside the 15-yard line. A huge run by Ronnie Drees, the first time he's broken a big one on this defense in the game. About a 30-yard run for Drees at the Pascack Valley 13-yard line.
That was a great job for Wayne Hills' line to get some separation for Drees to get through that hole, and once he did, he had some nice yards in front of him, and he had a nice cutback to get between some defenders. That was a nice play.
24 minutes of the first half went by without Wayne Hills breaking off a single big play, and they have 2 in under 3 minutes in the second half. Handoff up the middle, nothing there for Wayne Hills at all. Holes plugged up everywhere by Pascack Valley. Nowhere to run. It'll be 2nd and long.
Yeah, that run blocking we had just talked about, John, that went out the window there. You got to get the holes open so your running back can make a play. If you have a running back of the caliber of Dowling, DeBianca, and Drees, you have to get a hole so they can hit it.
Every time there's a big play, we start jumping up and down like camera shakes, like in Madden, when like the guy's going for a touchdown.
2nd and 10 for the Patriots. I formation, 2 receivers. Quinn drops back to pass, looks left, pump fakes, is going to be sacked by Pascack Valley, and he fumbles the ball. I believe Wayne Hills fell on it, but it's going to be close. The refs threw the beanies. It was definitely a fumble. The ball is at about the 23-yard line. There was a penalty flag. As the refs will meet to discuss the situation.
Not sure what happened there.
And it's going to be on Pascack Valley. A huge mistake by the Indians. Another break for Wayne Hills as everything has gone their way in the second half.
Did I not just call that? I called that wet. Seems that the luck that the Pascack Valley Indians had in the first half has gone away thus far. Wayne Hills regaining their speed and mobility.
I believe the call was a 5-yard face mask on Pascack Valley, which will put the ball at the 18-yard line of Pascack Valley. 2nd and very long for Hills. Toss to the left, trying to give Drees some space. He cuts back inside. Nothing there for Drees. Another tough run, but nothing comes up as far as positive yardage for Drees.
Yeah,
that'll be 3rd and long.
Excuse me, John, I'm sorry. I mean, the pass blocker, run blockers there, John. I mean, they got around the corner nicely, but they didn't get the defenders that they were assigned to get, and he got hit hard back at the line.
I think the big surprise for Pascack Valley in this game, especially in the first half, has been the defensive line. They've gotten pressure on Quinn, have not allowed him to get comfortable in the pocket, and really stuffed the running game. So I think that's what's kept Pascack Valley in this game, although Hills is now up 7-0. Trips to the right, possible screen situation, no man in the backfield. Quinn drops back, plenty of time, looks right, pressure finally comes, and it's caught inside the 5-yard line to about the 4. That'll be close to a first down. I think he got it.
Very close, John. Well-designed play. Ogden was wide open there. He hit a seam, and he had a nice catch. One of the first major catches by Wayne Hills that has converted this far.
And the refs have called an official timeout to measure the ball. It's a very pivotal measurement here, as it'll either be a 4th and short or a 1st and goal from the 4-yard line. So a very important spot here as the chains come out.
Would you go here, John, if it's 4th down?
I would. I think you have to. You got to put, and it's a 1st down. It won't matter. 1st down, Hills. Another break to the Patriots. 1st and goal from the 3. A huge chance now to put another touchdown on the board and possibly put this game out of reach.
That would be enormous for Wayne Hills if they can get a 2-touchdown lead with a good 5 minutes left to go, 6 minutes. You know what? I don't see why they can't stop anybody.
It's going to be a goal line formation for Wayne Hills. No receivers. Run up the middle. Stuff. The linebackers from PV hold strong. And Dries is bottled up for no gain on the play. 2nd and goal for Wayne Hills.
Looked like Dries went to hurdle the guy, and he just ran right into a brick wall. That must have hurt. He's going to feel that in the morning, John.
Timeout, Wayne Hills.
Yeah. Hills will call a timeout with 6 minutes and 18 seconds remaining in the 3rd quarter. They've come out hot in the 2nd half. Obviously, the huge return from Ogden, but since then, everything's gone their way. I mean, do you think PV stands a chance at this point, Anthony?
I mean, it's early in the 3rd quarter. I mean, he's still got a good 6 minutes left. They have time to come back, but, you know, the way Wayne Hills is playing right now, offensively and defensively, I don't see why Wayne Hills won't stop him and, you know, get the W.
I agree. I think Wayne Hills has a very good shot now winning this game. I don't see too many ways PV can come back. I think the first thing they need to do is stop Wayne Hills here. A field goal would be good for PV, but a stop and a turnover would be even better. So that's really what they need to do. They can't let Wayne Hills score a touchdown here because the defense for Wayne Hills has been very strong, and I don't think PV's offense will be able to score 2 touchdowns against them, and they're going to have to score more than 2 touchdowns if they want to take the lead. So I think Wayne Hills is in a very good position here. The players break the huddle along the sideline and march out onto the field for a 2nd and goal from the 3.
That's how big everybody is.
They go straight into their formation.
Excuse me, John. I'm sorry. Let's see if they can get something done here.
The one receiver goes in motion. Quinn is in the shotgun. Rolls right. It looks like a designed run. He looks to pass, but he's going toward the pylon. It's a run, and he will be stopped short of the goal line. It's a gain on the play. He'll be stopped inside the 1-yard line. Nice run by Quinn to turn the corner, but the PV defense was there.
He tried to get that arm over the goal line, John, and just didn't make it. He got hit hard. It was a great job, though, to get out of the pocket because he was rushed right from the beginning.
Like we've seen from Mike Quinn this season, the ability to get out and run. He has speed and mobility. He is a big kid, but he can move. And you saw that there as he was able to outrun the PV linebackers and get to the corner.
John, in a normal play here, I think I'd see a running back try to jump over the defensive line. But because of Pascack Valley's abnormally large size, I don't think that's going to happen.
Another goal line formation for Hills. On 3rd and goal. No receivers, 1 man in the backfield. And to QB sneak, Quinn goes up the middle. And he's in. Touchdown, Wayne Hills. They take a 13-0 lead here in Pascack Valley. And this crowd is silenced once again.
Great execution there by Mike Quinn to get through that first burst into the defensive line and get that ball over the line.
They went with a quick snap there on 3rd and goal, and it looked like it caught PV by surprise as the line was able to push forward and get across the goal line. You have to give credit to the guards, Drake, and the center, Rubin, as they were able to open up a hole for Quinn to get through.
To attempt the extra point.
Divers will attempt the extra point. Hold is good, kick is up. And good. 14-0 Wayne Hills. 6 minutes into the 2nd quarter, and they've opened up a 2-touchdown lead. We'll be back after a short break for the remainder of the 3rd quarter.
Here's Campbell. Campbell centering Licio. Off his stick, Licio falls down. Beautiful pass from Campbell. Licio not able to hang on to it. Axelman in the corner. Axelman, nice moves. Centers to Licio. And Wayne Hills
absolutely crazy at the asphalt. Wayne Hills, your 2005 NBIL Ice Hockey Championship. Albert Campbell, 4 goals for the Patriots, 6 goals. Campbell, the sophomore. What else can you say but wow?
Welcome back to Pascack Valley High School in Hillsdale, New Jersey, as Hills has opened up a 14-0 lead on the Indians of Pascack Valley. Divers will kick it away for the second time in the third quarter. Hills has scored on a Brian Ogden kickoff return for a touchdown and a Mike Quinn 1-yard QB sneak. Divers made both extra points, and that's the scoring, 14-0 Patriots.
Divers on the kick.
Divers' kick is another low, hard line drive inside the 10, fielded at about the 9. Trying to get through the wedge is the PV returner, and he won't get there as he's thrown down at about the 26-yard line.
Only 64 for Wayne Hills.
Tuminello got a great jump on that deep. The return team broke right through that chain and hit that guy hard. That was fantastic. He came down like a train.
Great job by the Hills contain group on that kickoff as the returner tried to bounce it to the outside, but nothing was there. So Logan Shuck will lead his team to try to put some points on the board. 2 receivers, 1 to each side. He looks to pass and throws to the right, and 2 men go down. There will be no flag on the play.
There's a flag. Excuse me, John. I think there was a flag thrown later.
It was a late flag coming in from the side judge, as there was a collision between the receiver and corner there, with the Hills corner going down on that play.
On Wayne Hills.
And it's going to be pass interference on the Patriots. So the first down in the second half for PV, as the ball will be placed at about the 42-yard line of Pascack Valley.
Ronnie looked to slip there, and the wide receiver for Pascack Valley just ran right into him. Clear pass interference.
5:51 to go in the third quarter. 14-0 Hills. Logan Shuck will go under center with an I formation, 2 receivers to the left. Handoff up the middle. Not too much there for Rems as he gets 2, maybe 3 yards on the play. Great job by the Hills linebackers to converge on the runner and stop him for a short gain.
From the second quarter on, John, Rems has been stopped most of the time. I mean, he might need a little bit of a shake-up or maybe like a little breather. I mean, he's playing a lot right now. You know, guys get fatigued, and you got to give him a break.
Yeah, I think the PV coach should really go to some passes in the second half as Logan Shuck drops back to pass it to swing route to Rems, as it's going to be incomplete, a forward pass there, so it's an incompletion as Wayne Hills defenders were bearing down on Rems and put a hit on him. So it's probably a good thing for the Indians that he dropped that ball, because Wayne Hills would have eaten him up.
Yeah, Rems looks a little shaken up on that one. Took him a little bit to get up, and it's third down now, and he's out right now. I mean, he needs a break.
He really does. He's gotten around 20, 25 carries in this game. They've just been giving it to him up the middle every time. So a well-deserved break for Rems as the quarterback is in the shotgun. That is Logan Shuck. Trips to the left, 1 receiver to the right. Drops back to pass. Looks left, throws over the middle. Complete to his receiver as the tackle is quickly made by number 80 for the Patriots. The ball is going to be placed at about the 32-yard line of Wayne Hills. The first completion, big completion of the game for Pascack Valley.
Complete to Parenta. First down, Valley.
Matt DeBlock made the touchdown-saving tackle there. Nice form tackle by him as 1st and 10 for Pascack Valley. There's some confusion in the offense. 4 receivers once again, so Valley looking to pass it more now. Except it's a handoff up the middle to Rems, who was able to fall forward, but short gain on the play.
Merberg on the carry.
Sorry, that wasn't Rems. He's getting a short rest right now. That was Justin Merberg on the carry.
Some fresh legs in there for PV. Maybe that'll help them out, get them a little spark, see what's going on with them.
Down 14-0. Your coach has got to try anything at this point. Quarterback under center once again. 3 receivers. And it's going to be an option to the right side, and the quarterback's eaten up by the Wayne Hills defense. Ryan Salerno getting into the backfield. A huge play by him. Another tackle for a loss for Wayne Hills. 3rd and long now for Pascack Valley.
That was great penetration for the defensive line of Wayne Hills to get through and get to the quarterback.
Oh, okay. I was just trying to help you.
Sure. It's going to be a 3rd and 12 for Pascack Valley at the Hills 34-yard line. Cora is the quarterback, and he's going to be sacked. Another huge play from the Wayne Hills defense as they are getting into the backfield. Back at the 49-yard line, 4th down for PV, and they're going to have to punt.
Again, great penetration by the defensive line. If they keep this up, there is no way that PV will win this game.
Strong hold by the Hills defense there. PV will elect to punt now. The explosive Brian Ogden back to receive the punt.
I know.
And Pascack Valley is not going to, it's going to be a pooch by the quarterback. A very nice punt. Nicest one we've seen from them. And it's going to roll inside the 10 and down by PV. A nice punt, another little misdirection there by PV as they brought the punt team on, but set up an offensive play as Wayne Hills had to scramble to get back in their defensive formation. And the quarterback pooched it. No one was there to return it. And it was down inside the 10. And a nice play by Pascack Valley.
That wasn't the smartest play by Brian Ogden to let that ball get grabbed by a defender before he got to. He had some open yards before anyone was in 10 yards of him. He could have had maybe another 5 yards if he had picked that ball up.
Well, once again, in quarterback was Tommy Cora. I believe that was the second play. He was in at quarterback there, and showing off some versatility as he punted the ball there. Nice job by him, and it was down to the 2-yard line of Wayne Hills, so that's where they'll begin the drive. I can't even see.
Wayne Hills set back in the red zone. In their own red zone, excuse me.
2 receivers for Quinn under center, and he's gonna hit. Quinn has the ball. Nice play fake by him. Looks to the left, has Horhan open. Incomplete. Just off the fingertips of Justin Horhan. He had a step on the defenders, streaking down the left sideline. Great play fake from Quinn, but the pass was not able to be completed.
Yeah, John, that was a fantastic pass. Perfectly placed. You know, Horhan's got to grab those balls if he wants to be a big player.
He had a step on the defense. If he was able to haul that in, I have no doubt that would have been a touchdown with Horhan's speed. So an opportunity missed from Wayne Hills as they will start a 2nd and 10 play from their own 2-yard line.
They showed there that they have the ability to go deep.
That was one of the first throws in the second half that we've seen Mike Quinn unleash. So Coach Olson trying to open up the playbook a little bit. Quinn under center now on 2nd down. Handoff up the middle. Dries has some space. Crosses the 10-yard line. Close to a 1st down.
Dries did a good job of getting outside the hole there. I mean, he hit the hole and then hit that corner hard and gained some good yards.
Nice block by the left tackle, Christian Avedisi, in there to open up a hole for Dries. As they are not going to give him the 1st down. So it's going to be 3rd and inches.
Short for the Patriots.
I wouldn't be surprised if they went right up the gut here, John.
I wouldn't be surprised about that either, Anthony. As a huge third down for Pascack Valley, they need to get a stop here with under 2 minutes now to go in the 3rd quarter. Quinn under center, 1 man in the backfield, 2 receivers to the right. It's a handoff up the middle, and it's going to be a 1st down for Wayne Hills. Huge run for the Patriots by Ronnie Dries, and they'll move the chains with 1:50 to go in the 3rd quarter.
Good enough for a Wayne Hills 1st down.
Yeah, more than enough there, John, to get the 1st down. I mean, he got some extra yards on that. I don't know if they wanted that, but you know what?
They'll take
it. You'll take yards where you can get them, and right now they're getting a lot of yards.
2 receivers for Hills, Ogden on the right, Horhan on the left, Dries in the backfield again. It's another handoff to him to the left side again as he makes a move on the defender, but he's tackled for a gain of around 2 or 3.
Ronnie has some great vision out there, sees the field great. You know, he's hitting those corners and getting around people left and right. See if he can keep doing it for the rest of the game. I mean, only 1 minute left in the third quarter. Let's see if he can keep it going into the fourth.
Again, you have to give credit to the left side of that offensive line with Christian Avedisian and Brian Ogden over there, opening up some holes for Dries. They might keep putting them on that left side.
I wish we had like percentages of left shading.
Quinn play fake, rolls right, under pressure, finds a receiver, Torhan, who will get the first down and more across the 30-yard line. I'm not quite sure if that was Horhan. It might have been James D. Delectus, the fullback. And it's going to be another first down for Hills. It was D. Delectus on the catch.
Yeah, it was a great job by Quinn to get out of the pocket, roam around, and get the completion. I mean, Wayne Hills is straying away a little bit from the running right now. I mean, they're running, and then have a nice long pass for some good yards. Let's see if they can keep it going into the fourth quarter.
The clock ticks down in the third quarter as Quinn hands it off again to Dries, who will go to the left side once again and has space across the 40, first down and more to the 45. Hit hard out of bounds at the 47. Another long run by Dries on the left side, and he picks up another first down with 9 seconds to go in the third quarter.
That looked like a little bit of a late hit there, John, to the helmet, but you know what? Both teams are playing real hard right now. You can't even stop that.
You can't throw the flag on that type of play there. Just raw emotion coming out from both sides.
Another great run there by Dries, though. I mean, he hit the corner again, and to the left has been his side all night. See if he keeps it going to the left.
Two receivers to the right, Quinn under center, Dries in the backfield. It's going to be another handoff up the middle this time. And another move by Dries. PV had their defenders there, but Dries just made the moves and picked up 7 yards.
Dries on the carry, brought down.
The whistle sounds, and that will be the end of the third quarter. A very successful third quarter for the Patriots as they have opened up a 14-0 lead. We will be back for the fourth and final quarter of action after this.
Monahan turns around, takes a quick peek at the clock, hands it up the middle to Lynn, who gets outside. Chaz Lynn, it's a foot race. He's at the 40, to the 30. Lynn still on the feet, and he's in. Touchdown, Wayne Hills.
Look at the clock, Lou. It reads triple zeros as Chaz Lynn plays his own version of beat the clock. He had to go one place, and that was into the end zone, because if he was tackled, the half was over. Chaz Lynn beats the clock.
Welcome back to Pascack Valley High School, where your Patriots lead 14-0. They have a 2nd and 3 from the Pascack Valley 46. Two receivers to the right for Quinn, who hands it off up the middle. Nothing there, trying to bounce off a tackler is Dries, but he can't find an opening as he's wrapped up for a loss of 3 or 4 yards on the play. A big play from the defense of the Indians as they try to get something going on defense.
Dries on the carry.
You see there, John, they strayed away from the left and went towards the right, not exactly to the right. But you know it, to the left is the way. Ronnie's been running hard, and you got to keep it going.
Third and 6 for Wayne Hills.
The way Ronnie's been going.
Ogden comes to the right side of the field. Another receiver to the left. High formation, Quinn under center. Blitz comes from PV. Pressure from Quinn. It's a screen set up to Dries beautifully across the 40, 35-30, has a hole to the 25, crosses the field at the 20 and is wrestled to the ground inside the 10-yard line. Beautifully designed play by the Patriots as they allowed the blitz to penetrate against Quinn, but he was able to get the ball away to Dries with blockers in space, and a huge gain from Wayne Hills.
Brought down by Kevin Rem.
It looked like there might have been a hole there, John, but Wayne Hills might have got away with one. You know, got a big gain off of it. They're in the red zone and see if they can put some more points on the board. If they can do that, I think this game's over.
A demoralizing play for Pascack Valley as they were on the verge of getting a hold against Wayne Hills, as now the Patriots have a 1st and goal from the 6. One receiver to the right. as there's going to be a false start on the offensive line of Hills. They had 2 or 3 tight ends in there. As that is going to a false start on the Patriots. Back them up 5 yards to the 11-yard line.
Wayne Hills has got to drive hard here with an extra 5 yards tacked onto it. You know what? Again, if they score points here, this game is over.
I agree, Anthony, with 10:35 and counting in the fourth quarter. I mean, Pascack Valley has not had anything going for them on offense. Another score from Hills. This game is over. Quinn will go under center, I formation. 3 tight ends once again. Actually, 2 tight ends. Ogden comes in motion toward the line of scrimmage. It's going to be a toss to Dries on the outside. It's a nice block from Ogden as he's going to be stopped by the PV secondary. Not too good of a run for the Patriots.
Dries on the carry.
John, excuse me.
Dries picks up a few yards there to get to about the 6, a gain of about 4 or 5.
Once he got to the outside, John, he met a wall of green. You might want to call it a green monster, but he didn't get much on that one.
Yeah, Dries was met hard by the PV secondary as they closed in and formed a wall around Ronnie Dries. Hill's working from the right hash now. Ogden to the left side this time. Again, 3 tight ends in the game. Ogden comes in motion again. And it's going to be a handoff to Dries Quinn with a great fake. He faked me out, makes a move, and he's in. Touchdown, Wayne Hills. What a run by Mike Quinn. Oh, baby, he faked everyone out on that play and found an opening.
There's some rumbling, bumbling, stumbling by Mike Quinn. And what do you say? He gets around the tackle and gets in for the touchdown.
What a play from Mike Quinn. First of all, he faked everyone out, and then he was able to get through the PV linebackers, weaving his way through the defense and march into the end zone. 20-0 Hills.
You're right, John. That was a great play fake by him to fake the run, and he hit that corner nicely.
Divers on for the extra point, 2 for 2 so far today. And there's movement on the line as PV came crashing in before the snap. It's going to either be a false start or offsides.
Last game, I never would have got that perfectly the whole time.
It was a run?
Because he faked it like twice.
The call is going to be a false start on the Patriots. So another false start against them in the red zone.
Questionable call there, John. It looked like both teams jumped. I guess it looks like, to the referees at least, that Wayne Hills jumped earlier.
So that'll back up the extra point 5 yards. So it's going to be 25 yards to the crossbar for Divers. Low snap, but it's handled well by the holder, and the kick is up and through. 21-0 Patriots. Divers has been money on those extra points.
Extra point is good.
Yeah, he's been money since he has played varsity football for the Wayne Hills Patriots. Last year, he only missed, I believe, 3 extra points. You know what? Extra points should be given, but in high school, that's an extraordinary feat.
It really is. Divers had a great year last year. Another good year this year with extra points. So look for him to make that extra point automatic for Hills the rest of this year and going into next year. Want to do play-by-play?
No.
What do you mean your voice?
The game's going to end up like 30.
With 9:28 to go in the fourth quarter, Hills now has a 21-0 lead on PV, as the PV side has nothing to cheer about at this point.
Divers on the kick for the Patriots.
PV's going to have to string together some long, quick plays to try to get points on the board in a hurry.
Divers has done a great job on kickoffs, hitting some nice line drives that the Pascack Valley Indians haven't gotten returned.
Another good kickoff by Divers, fielded at about the 11-yard line this time. As the returner will go up the middle, finds a little bit of a hole, gets across the 25 to about the 28. Cora with the return, a jack of all trades for PV. He's played quarterback, receiver, he's punted the ball, now returning. So,
yeah, Cora has been a very versatile player for the Pascack Valley Indians. He's done a little bit of everything, and he's doing a lot. Other than Reams, he's the main guy.
Yeah, and in high school football, when your rosters are limited, you need guys like that to be very versatile. Logan Shuck under center, 3 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Throws to the left, and it's batted down by Wayne Hills. Paul Drake got in there and batted it down, as it'll be 2nd and 10 now for Pascack Valley.
That was a great job on the defensive line again. If you know you are not going to get to the quarterback, you got to raise your hands quick and bat down passes, and that's exactly what Paul Drake did.
Huge play for Drake because that swing pass was open. The blitz left the flat open for PV, and if Drake didn't make that play, it might have been a nice completion.
You know, it's not as cold anymore.
I think because we're happy. Logan Shuck in the shotgun, 4 receivers, 3 to the left. Looks down the middle of the field, throws a seam, overthrows his receiver. He didn't give his guy a chance to haul that one in. That one's on Logan Shuck, as it was intended for number 13, Tommy Cora.
Yeah, Logan Chuck had Cora open there. He had to step on the defender on the corner over there. But you know what? You got to get the ball to the receiver if you want them to catch it. They can't catch everything, John.
And if Cora caught that ball in stride, that would have been an easy touchdown for PV, which is exactly what they need right now. So I'm going to expect Logan Chuck to air more balls out in the air.
Air more balls out. I like to air my balls out too.
4 receivers. Looks left, throws left. His receiver fell. I'm not sure if that's the guy he was throwing it to, but a receiver fell, and the ball was overthrown again by Logan Shuck. That one intended for number 18, Alex Parenta.
Number 9, Jimmy Bueller was wide open on that play, John. I don't know why he didn't look at him.
Questionable decision by the quarterback.
It is. I mean, this quarterback, obviously he's trying his hardest, but his best may not be the best.
PV breaks the huddle with 9 minutes to play. Hills with a 3-score lead. Twins to both sides of the field. Shotgun for Logan Chuck. And it's going to be a pooch punt. And it's going to bounce in favor of Pascack Valley at the 34, down by PV. On 4th down, PV made it appear that they were going to go for it, but they ended up pooch punting it again. Second time they've done that tonight, and I think it went in favor of PV as they were able to get a positive roll for them.
That's right, John. That is the second time they have done that, and thus far it has worked better than a regular punt. You know what? If that's what's going to get Wayne Hills into their own territory, let them do it. Thus far, it has not stopped Wayne Hills from scoring points, though.
This crowd is beginning to file out now here at Pascack Valley, as it appears Wayne Hills will be victorious with a 21-0 lead and under 9 minutes to go. Quinn under center, 2 receivers. Ogden comes in motion to the right side now. Quinn hands it up the middle to Dowling for a gain of about 2 as he was tripped up as he got across to the 37-yard line of PV.
Some jabbering going on between the offensive and defensive lines. You got to be careful, boys. You don't want a penalty call on you. That could be detrimental to your team.
Of course, a 15-yard penalty. You never want that for your team, especially when you're trying to come back like Pascack Valley is. They can't afford to make any stupid mistakes at this point. They have to try to force some turnovers and get the ball back and score quickly.
And on a more personal note, you don't want a penalty of that caliber be called on you, or you'll hear from your coach.
Quinn under center again, I formation, back up the middle as they try the left side, and Dries is able to turn the corner and get close to the first down. Great speed by Ronnie Dries as he's right at the marker. We'll see where they spot it.
Again, a run to the left for Ronnie Dries. You know, great job hitting the corner and showing that extra burst he has.
And they are going to give Dries the first down. 1st and 10 from the 46-yard line for the Patriots, with 7:54 to play now.
This Pascack Valley crowd has been silent for the past quarter and a half.
We gotta rub it in now. Quinn under center. Man goes in motion, and it goes up the middle this time. Another nice fake from Quinn as they fake the sweep to Horahan, and the run went up the middle for about 8 or 9 yards.
Dries is slow to get up. He had a hard head-on collision there.
Hart and Kaiser.
Now Dries missed 3 games on offense due to injury. With Hills up by 3 scores here, they have great backups by running back, so I would like to see Dries come out of the game, which he is at this point. So Dowling and DiBianca will probably get most of the handoffs from here on out.
Yeah, he needed a break after that hit. I mean, that hurt.
Free hot dogs. Go get it, Jack. Go get it.
Quinn under center. Twins to the left. They hand it off up the middle to Dowling, who has a hole at the 40, and he's hit hard after picking up the first down inside the 40 to about the 36 or 37.
Yeah, it's a hard hit right to the gut, John. I mean, he had some yards in front of him, open daylight, and then he cut around one guy, and he got hit right in the gut.
Wayne Hills has packed a punch here on this drive, really milking down the clock at 6.5 minutes now. PV is going to have to do anything they can at this point to try to get the ball back. Quinn up the middle as they find a hole across the 30-yard line. Another nice run from the Patriots.
Dries on the carry.
That was Dries once again.
Brought down by Chris Hart.
And they're going to be close to the first down. I'm not quite sure if they made it.
Dries is getting all the momentum that Reams had in the first half, John. I mean, he's running hard. He's chopping his feet now. He wants the W for the Wayne Hills Patriots to keep the streak alive.
The streak is now at 45, about to go to 46. We were a little nervous that the streak would be ended tonight, but Wayne Hills has answered the call with a strong second half. Quinn under center, hands it off up the middle as Dries is tripped up. I believe he's short of the first down. It was 2nd and 1. It'll probably bring up another 3rd and 1 play.
Dries on the carry again. Brought down by Rems to bring up 3rd down for Wayne Hills.
Wayne Hills is showing a lot of spirit here. You know, still playing hard even with the 21-0 lead. I mean, they want to prove that they were the better team from the beginning, and they're doing it here in the second half.
Quinn leads his team up to the line with no rush here as the clock is ticking away. I formation, hands it up the middle to Dries, who goes to the left side, makes a move, and is hit hard after picking up the first down. So a successful run as far as... And Dries fumbled the ball, and Pascack Valley recovered. We couldn't quite see it from this angle, but Dries was laid out by the defender, and he fumbled the ball, and PV came away with it.
Yeah, it's going to be tough to recover from that hit. He got knocked out, John.
Well, that's exactly what PV wanted to do. Force a turnover. It probably came a little bit too late for them with just 5:03 to go. But a huge play from them is now they're going to have to air it out down the field and try to get a quick score. PV breaks the huddle in what should be a spread formation. Logan Shuck under center. Throws to the left, incomplete. Intended for number 7, Paul Kohler on the play.
Intended for Kohler.
Went right through his hands, John. I mean, I know it's late in the game. I know your team's down 21-0, but you got to catch the ball regardless, or you're going to hear it the next day from your coach.
Yeah, Logan Shuck's throws have been very much off the mark in the second half and has not given his receivers to make any big plays to put points on the board. Logan Shuck under center again, 3 receiver set. Hill sitting back in a prevent defense. Logan Shuck rolls left, throws over the middle, picked off by Matt the block. He returns it inside the 30-yard line and finally brought down inside the 25. That'll do it for this game. Wayne Hills now with up 21-0. 4:46 to play. They get the ball back in PV territory. This game is all but over now at this point.
Let's see if they go to the backup quarterback here so they save Mike Quinn in case of injury. And no, they're going to keep Mike Quinn in the game, but put Brian Dowling in at tailback, trying to save Ronnie Dries from another injury. Yes.
Joe Russo is in the game now at receiver, as Quinn is still under center. Handoff to Dowling to the left side, able to squirt through a small hole for a short gain on the play. The clock will tick away. 4.5 minutes to play in the game.
Yes. All right. Both of our predictions were pretty wrong.
Dowling on the carry, brought down by Kaiser.
You've had them scoring points.
28-13. That's not that 2nd and 10 for the Patriots. Dowling was not able to pick up any yards on that play. Ogden and Quinn still in the game, so Coach Olson not letting his foot off the pedal. PV shows blitz. Quinn tosses left to Dowling, makes a move, able to get through some defenders, but is brought down by a mob of green as players are thrown around after the play, and it's going to be a personal foul, most likely on PV. As you saw Wayne Hill's player go flying there after the play, I believe it was Brian Ogden. So things getting chippy out there now with a 21-point game and under 4 minutes to play.
We said it before, John. I mean, players get a little agitated when you're losing, and you know what? You can't let that happen. You're already down 21 points. You want to make it worse for your team so they hate you that much more? I don't think so.
Anthony Delchop and Ogden getting into it on that play. Personal foul on the Pascack Valley Indians on sportsmanlike conduct. So it'll be a 1st and goal for Hills, I believe. No, it's going to be just outside the 10-yard line. So 1st and 10 from the 11. Handoff up the middle. Nothing doing there for Brian Dowling as he tries to run between the tackles, but more importantly for Wayne Hills, clock ticking down now. 3:28 to play with a 21-point lead.
Dowling on the carry, brought down by Kokoza.
Yeah, the offense just has to keep working here, run the clock down, maybe even score another touchdown if they want to throw it down Pascack Valley's throws to show that they were the better team coming in 5-0. Both teams 5-0, but they're going to be 6-0 at the end of this game.
Quinn under center, hands it, oh no, play fake this time, rolls right under pressure, throws it up. Caught! Touchdown, Wayne Hills. A huge play from Mike Quinn, buying time once again. Caught by, I believe, Brian Dowling, and yes it is, nope, I'm sorry, Brian Ogden on the touchdown catch as he went up and tiptoed the sideline for another Hills touchdown.
Fantastic job by both of the players there, John. Quinn to get out of the pocket, scramble, get away from the defensive ends and tackles, and to throw that ball, and for Ogden to get some separation on the defensive backs and catch that ball.
Quinn's mobility has just brought so much into the Wayne Hills playbook, and he's making plays all over this field. He's going to have quite a highlight reel after this season. The extra point from Divers is good.
The extra point.
28-0 Hills now. All that's left in this game to figure out is the final score. 28-0 Hills, 2:47 to go. We'll be back with the conclusion of this game and a wrap-up after a short break.
An ankle injury. Yeah.
Welcome back to Hillsdale, New Jersey at Pascack Valley High School, where your Wayne Hills Patriots lead the PV Indians 28-0 as Zivers will kick it away with 2:47 remaining in the game. After the play, we'll talk. Divers with a high kick this time, taking at the 10. These kickoffs have been consistent from him. Run up the middle from PV, gets across the 30. Nice run, or return rather, by the Indians as they will begin their drive at the 31. So Anthony, Wayne Hills comes in here tonight, tie game at the half, a little unexpected. We were a little bit nervous at halftime that the streak was in jeopardy, but Wayne Hills answered the call right off the bat in the second half.
Yeah, this is true, John. I think at halftime, Coach Olson instilled some anger and fear into them that if they didn't perform, that they would hear it after the game. But you know what? They have performed in the second half, scoring 4 touchdowns in 2 quarters.
Logan Shuck in the shotgun. He'll drop back, looks left, throws deep to the left. And it's going to be intercepted by Brian Ogden. A nice play, Ogden sliding across the turf to pick that one off. Wayne Hills will take over on the turnover at the 38-yard line. As the offense will come back on the field. Anthony, do you expect to see some substitutions in now?
I do, but back to that pass, Logan Chuck looks like he's been just hurling up the vast few passes. I mean, that's his second interception. You know, he's not the most accurate quarterback. Maybe they should give Cora some more, time behind the pocket.
I agree. Cora looked a lot better at quarterback. He really only had one completion in the game. He hasn't had too many opportunities to throw, but Logan Chuck has just been off the mark every single time. I'm surprised Cora hasn't gotten more chances.
Yeah, I'm sitting there.
Ogden goes in motion. Quinn hands it off up the middle. They try the left side, nothing there as time will tick away.
That was a great job by Wayne Hills again to keep the offense rolling, keep the defense strong. You know what? They're doing everything they can do right now to get the W, and obviously they have it in the bag. But you know what? Going on to the next few games, John, what do you think? I mean, Wayne Hills has a lot of tough competitors, and you know what? They actually had to play really hard today to get the win.
Yeah, I think this was the biggest game on Wayne Hills' regular season schedule as the crowd empties out here at PV. But I think this was their toughest test of the season, and they've withstood it. As you see a great run here, as that will be another touchdown for Hills, I believe, unless he's going to be caught. That is Ogden who crosses the goal line. Another touchdown for Hills as they are now just piling it on. 34-0. What an explosive run up the gut by Ogden. And wow, this team has come out so well in the second half. They sustained it for the entire half, and I mean, you can't say enough about this offense.
That was a great job by the Wayne Hills offense to fake everybody out on the sweep. They gave it to Ogden coming around, and everybody thought it was a handoff up the middle. You know, Ogden, obviously a great player, senior, maybe one of the quickest guys on the Wayne Hills team, and showing why he is one of the top players in the state.
34-0. Divers will attempt the extra point.
Yo.
Hold is good, kick is up, and good.
Cut off if we sit in there?
No. 35-0. Wayne Hills High School on top with 1:40 to play in the game. This game all but over, Anthony. We're going to look at Wayne Hills' upcoming schedule. As I was saying before the touchdown, PV probably their toughest opponent on the schedule. Their other tough opponent is Fairlawn, who has impressed a lot of people so far early in the season. They started out undefeated, but lost last week to, I believe, Ramapo. So really, this was the biggest game on the schedule for Hills. But do you see them maybe stumbling anywhere in the season?
I don't believe so. I mean, Fairlawn is a good team. They beat some other quality teams in this division. But I don't see Wayne Hills losing to anyone because their offense and defense are just way too strong, way too versatile, way too quick for them to lose. Obviously, they've been doing something right in the past 45 games, and thus being the 46th.
The streak will move on tonight to 46 games. This was not an easy one for Hills, but they got the job done in the second half. As you see Divers kick off another one, fifth one of the half, taken up the middle of the field as the returner is able to find a little bit of a seam across the 30 to about the 32. So Anthony, Hills has a pretty tough schedule the rest of the way. We mentioned Fairlawn, but they also have next week going back to Patriot Stadium, taking on the Demorest Norsemen, who have a winning record on the season. I mean, they could threaten Hills, but I mean, do you really see them losing?
I mean, anyone can threaten on any given Friday. But you know what? I don't see Wayne Hills losing again. They're just, again, way too strong of a team. Way too much youth. Way too much, power. Too much speed. Too much anything for anyone to hold on to get the W against them.
As you see, the whistle blows here, so there will be a penalty before the snap, possibly a false start. But, Anthony, they finished the season at Indian Hills. Indian Hills just one win on the season, so it should be an easy win for the Patriots. But going into the playoffs, you talk about possible opponents, maybe Wayne Valley or this Pascack Valley team. I mean, do you think if Wayne Hills gets a rematch against PV, should they have any problems with these Indians? Or, I mean, will the Indians come out like this again in a possible playoff matchup?
I mean, obviously they came out motivated tonight. I see them, if they rematch in the playoffs, even more motivated. But obviously, even if they are motivated, they didn't get the W as Wayne Hills did. I would much rather see, and I think most of the town of Wayne would rather see, a rematch of last year's championship, Wayne Hills, Wayne Valley, which was a very exciting game for the first few quarters, and then Wayne Hills kind of, took it from there on.
Well, Valley has had a bit of a Wayne Valley talk I'm talking about is had a little bit of a disappointing season so far. So they haven't, they've lost one game, but they still have to wrap things up in the regular season. Wayne Hills all but clinches a berth here. Now it's 6-0 on the season, just 3 games to go. So they're pretty much safely in. As you see a handoff now after PV picked up a first down on the last play. As the runner drags defenders close to the 50-yard line.
I can do this.
Free what?
Free pretzels. Here.
And that will be the last play of the game.
As time ticks
Final
down
score,
now,
Wayne Hills 35, Pascack
2-0.
Valley, nothing.
Wayne Hills wins the game by a final score of 35-0. This game was close at halftime, like we said. Wayne Hills came out on fire in the second half, led by a Brian Ogden. Kickoff return for a touchdown. Just an absolutely clutch play by him to get the points rolling for the Patriots in the second half. It ended up with 35. Anthony, what do you think was the key for Wayne Hills in the second half to win this game?
Well, obviously coming hard out of the box, which they did, was the key. And you know what? They come out, first play on the kickoff, Brian Ogden takes it to distance. And you know what? That's all you got to do. As soon as you get that momentum shift, you have to take advantage of it and pounce and pounce and pounce.
And pounce they did. Wayne Hills, after coming up with a 7-0 lead, were able to stop PV and come back right back down the field and score on a Mike Quinn sneak. So that'll just about do it here from Pascack Valley. We'll be back with a post-game interview after this.
This is Nick Warzel's limelight, folks. This is when he brings his A game. The lights are turned on the field. Late in the day, he's ready to go.
On first down, Warzel back to pass. Excellent protection all the time in the world. Looking downfield, looking for Van Peenan. Triple covered. Sticks it in there. Flags on the play. Van Peenan ahead to the 20. Looking for the sideline. He's across the 10 near the goal line. Dives. Touchdown, Ray Van Peenan.
I'm here with wide receiver and cornerback Brian Ogden, the star of tonight's game. Brian, how does it feel to get such a huge win here at Pascack Valley after it was tied at halftime?
It's huge. I mean, both 5-0 teams can't ask for anything better than that. It was going to be a great game, great crowd, bit playoff atmosphere. We just came out and just first half we came out slow. Second half we just picked it up and just went from there.
It was scoreless at the halftime break, and you came out in the second half on the first kickoff, ran it back for a touchdown. Talk about what was going through your mind during that play.
I knew I had something right when I picked it up. They kicked a line drive, kicked to me, it skipped up to me, I picked it up. I knew I was going to have plenty of time to run it. I got great blocking. I just ran it, found a seam, broke a tackle, and just ran to daylight.
You guys came out in the second half with just so much fire. You made 4 touchdowns, is that correct?
I made 3 touchdowns.
3 touchdowns, my bad. You came out, the whole team came out just so much better than they did in the first half. I mean, what did Coach Olsen say to you at halftime to motivate you guys?
Coach Olsen told us we had to dig deep now. It's 0-0. You know, it's going to get tough in the beginning, like he always tells us. It's just who's going to break. We bended a little bit, they bended a little bit. We ended up breaking them in the second half.
How much does a game like this really help your confidence? I mean, this was the biggest game on the schedule, and what can you take out of this game going forward into the playoffs?
We just got to keep doing what we're doing. We got to keep practicing hard like we've been. And if we keep that going, then I think it'll carry us through the playoffs. I want to win a state championship more than anyone.
That's all we have here from Pascack Valley. Wayne Hills beats the Indians 35-0. The kick is a low line drive that will bounce in front of Brian Ogden, who will take it across the field, across the 20, trying to find a seam, and he does! He brings it at the 50, the 45, they're trying to catch him. I don't know if they will. The 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown, Wayne Hills! Brian Ogden takes his second half kickoff into the end zone.
And that's the kind of play, John, that gives your team momentum, which might hold up for the rest of the game. That was superb.
Another goal line formation for Hills. On 3rd and goal. No receivers, 1 man in the backfield. And to QB sneak, Quinn goes up the middle. And he's in. Touchdown, Wayne Hills. They take a 13-0 lead here in Pascack Valley. And this crowd is silent. 3 tight ends in the game. Ogden comes in motion again. And it's going to be a handoff to Dries Quinn with a great fake. He faked me out, makes a move, and he's in. Touchdown, Wayne Hills. What a run by Mike Quinn. Oh, baby, he faked everyone out on that play and found an opening. Quinn under center. Hands it. Oh, no, play fake this time. Rolls right under pressure. Throws it up. Caught. Touchdown, Wayne Hills. A huge play from Mike Quinn, buying time once again. Caught by, I believe, Brian Dowling, and yes it is, Brian Ogden on the touchdown catch as he went up and tiptoed the sideline for another Hills touchdown. This was the biggest game on Wayne Hills' regular season schedule as the crowd empties out here at PV. But I think this was their toughest test of the season, and they withstood it. As you see a great run here as that will be another touchdown for Hills, I believe, unless he's going to be caught. That is Ogden who crosses the goal line. Another touchdown for Hills as they are now just piling it on. 34-0.